Hi, my name is Susan and welcome to Sketchbook Stories. In this series, I'm going to open up the pages of my own sketchbooks to show you exactly what's inside. The good, the bad, and the messy. I will explain the story behind each sketch and describe exactly how it was created. Let's get stuck in. Hi all and welcome. Now today I wanted to show you inside this rather old sketchbook of mine that has been around the block, and I just wanted to show you some pages in the middle that were the initial sketches that I did in relation to these fish linocuts. Now when I create linocut prints, they always start as an initial pencil sketch, doodle or design in a sketchbook. And this sketchbook here, as I said, is a relatively older one. This was in 2017. And I normally begin by, the theme for here was sketching fishes, and this would have just been in a soft pencil, something like a 2B, 4B, or this kind of blackwing pencil, something like this. And I would have played with different designs and patterns, and I tend to repeat something several times over. So the theme was fish. So what I would do is draw several different fishes, several different styles, just trying different shapes and different, I was going to say flavours of fish, but it's not really flavours, different shapes. And I was experimenting with both different species of fish, that's a better word than flavours, isn't it? But also I was experimenting with ways of adding different patterns onto the scales rather than just trying to replicate in a realistic fashion. And you can see from the sketches here, some of these sketches turned into linocuts and others didn't. So this one didn't, for example. These are the finished linocuts, so they're simple linocuts created and printed in blue. So this little guy here, my angelfish, this is the initial sketch that it came from. So you can see the shape is there, the overall idea of the pattern, these circular areas, and this kind of up and downy area, and the lines on here. That's been used as source reference and then translated into the linocut style over here. Yeah, I think this guy was one of the sketches as well, wasn't he? So here we go, this sketch is this one. The overall shape would have been sort of kept, and then these lines here would have been carved out. So this lovely wavy pattern replicated in the linocut fashion. So you can see how sort of closely related the linocut is to the initial sketch, and that's this one again. So I use sketchbooks as a way of working through ideas. A simple pencil sometimes is absolutely all you need to experiment and to play, to express, to work through ideas. Sketchbooks for me really are a place where I can work through ideas. And of, I don't know how many sketches are there, let's say 2, 4, 6. Of those 8 sketches, that one actually did, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them became linocut prints, and then a few of them didn't. And then I did do some more sketches of, oh, there we go, that's the other little guy that I've done. That one didn't, this one did, this one did. So some of these have become finished linocut prints and some haven't. One thing I would say for sketchbooks, that if you want to produce one finished something, so if you're using it as a place to work out ideas and to plan for another piece of work rather than a sketch just for itself, I will need to do 10 sketches very often to have 3 or 4 that are workable to use, and then maybe 1 or 2 end up into finished sketches, finished pieces. Sketchbooks can be used in so many different ways. This is just an example of where I have used a sketch as a way of planning another piece of work. So it's a way of planning a design and planning an illustration for a finished linocut print. And this little guy was a finished print as well. So just a simple pencil, a simple sketchbook. If you've got an idea or a theme that you're working on, just repeat that theme, repeat that motif again and again. Try different shapes, try different ways of working, and then hopefully you can sort of work through an idea and you've explored it to its maximum. That's what sketchbooks are fantastic for exploring things, for working out those ideas visually on the page. I can't think of this stuff in my head. I have to have it down on paper and experiment with different shapes and different things. Like this little guy became a lovely linocut print. This is one of my favourites actually. So yeah, that's the story behind these sketchbook pages. They were not necessarily sketches that took a really long time, and they would have been conducted over a few days together. So these would have been, over a couple of days. I'd have come back to this sketchbook several times to continue working on this theme of fish to get the designs that I thought were good enough to translate into linocut prints. So I hope that's interesting to sort of see how a sketchbook can be used for design planning for another piece of work. And again, many artists will use sketchbooks as a way of planning composition for a painting, for example. This just happens to be a design for a linocut print because that's what I often work in. But again, it can be a way of planning composition for more finished pieces of work. So I hope that's interesting, and that is the story behind these few sketchbook pages on this sketchbook here. I will speak to you again soon.